We are live in prime time on the brightest lights, the biggest stage, the only platform where all music, all sports, and all wrestling matters here, Sportzwire Radio. And while the winter storm may have hit the Big Apple, you might want to say tonight is a sink or swim moment for our guest, because our guest has wanted this moment. He has wanted this opportunity to win the SBW World and Union Championships. Well, we'll see, ladies and gentlemen. To quote Q-Tip, if the world is his, we'll see. We'll talk about the match that he has wanted, that Bagman made between him and the one and only Riley Bates for those championships. We'll talk about what happened at Final Countdown. We'll also talk about what Riley Bates just said about this man here, plus who knows whatever else here. Now, I know that our guest has been here before, but a few weeks ago, we said this was going to happen. I'm giving him the opportunity for the first time to get that introduction here, live in prime time on the brightest lights, the biggest stage, the platform that he and SBW most certainly helped build, Sportswire Radio. And ladies and gentlemen, it is now time to start this show off here in style on Sportswire Radio. You might want to say tonight, it'll be somebody's sink or swim moment. Let's get ready to rumble. So with that, without further ado, here on the Sports Report, number one cable sports show, one of the premier competitors around, for one of the premier companies around, SBW. We'll see if it'll be a sink or swim moment. His name is simply put, Bane. Bane. My friend, how are we doing?
I'm doing pretty good. Just been getting ready for my match tomorrow. Obviously, everyone knows sink or swim, me and Bates. But been scouting him, watching our old wrestling matches, his old matches to prepare.
That's interesting you said that, because sometimes I get wrestlers on before a big title match and they're like superstitious. They're like, I don't want nothing to do with it. One of my guests famously earlier this year in Arkansas, the HCW champion there, the Real Deal Eclipse, I'd asked him that same question. He says, Tom, I just won't go back and I won't watch previous matches of my opponents. I just want to go out there and do it and just get it over with you. And we're going to talk a lot about that one and only Riley Bates, a well-known name to this platform these last several months. And you're watching old matches with him. You're even watching Final Countdown. That's an interesting strategy that you basically threw out there.
Yeah, in my opinion, you got to, like, some people are superstitious, like you said, but I like to scout, because then say he's looking for a move, I know the look in his eye, the look in everything that he's about to do, and then I'm prepared for when he's about to hit it, and I can counter it.
That's an interesting point. There was a baseball player, God rest his soul, Tony Gwynn, and he was one of the greatest hitters of all time. And what he would do is, after games, his wife would basically tape all of his at-bats, and he would just sit there till 3, 4 in the morning, and he would just watch all of his at-bats. And you're pretty much not, we don't need VHSs anymore. Thankfully, we have YouTube, but you're going to watch all of the one and only Riley Bates' matches, and many of them, well, they'll be involving you. And that's going to hopefully help you and help your case tomorrow at SBW's latest show, Sink or Swim, sir.
Yeah, you always got to be prepared. You can never be too good. You can always improve, in my opinion. No one will ever be the best they are because you can just keep getting better as you move on in life.
Absolutely, I agree with you on that. I get all these big guests on. We've had WWE legends. Raven was on here a few weeks ago. I'm sure you heard about that. And
Yeah, I did. I watched that one.
oh, thank you. Thank you very much. I had Josie Scott of Saliva. And what I always do is I always go back and prepare. And I'm glad that you are going to do the same. So let's get right into it here. Bane X, for those that are listening and watching here in prime time on the brightest lights, the biggest stage, the platform that you and SBW most certainly helped build, Sportswire Radio. Talk to me about what would it mean to you to win not only the SBW Union, but the World Heavyweight Championships.
It's to put it simple, pretty simple. It's straight to the point, right?
Yeah.
It would mean the world to me, no pun intended, because one, I would become a 4-time SBW World Champion on top of I would be the first time I've ever won the Union Champion because I've never won that belt, so it'd be great to hold the belt and accomplish something I haven't accomplished in my career yet.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I think it's important. And to be a double champion, very few people in our sport have the opportunity to win and be a double champion at the same time. It doesn't matter if it's in the backyard, the underground, the pro wrestling circuit. It doesn't matter, WWE. And to have that opportunity, that just shows the importance of this match. And also, one of the other things I want to throw out there, this is the last match of 2025. You guys in SBW literally are going to have one of the last matches anybody's going to have in all of wrestling in 2025.
That's what we do. We put on shows till the very end.
Well, we're going literally.
Yeah, quite literally.
Well, quite literally. I know there's some people here in the chat that know you. We'll get to them. But, it all sounds rosy and it sounds great. But I'm sure you heard recently on SBW TV, the most recent episode of Unstoppable, Bagman makes the match. You had wanted this match. You had to face off with Riley. Riley said no. Bagman makes the match. But Riley Bates had a lot of things to say about you. And well, to put it bluntly, he's going to make sure that you get put in the ground 6 feet under. Your reaction?
How many people have said they're going to put me in the ground? Multiple people have said that before, and I'm still standing. I'm still one of the best SBW has to offer. I quite literally I'm not going to say I'm as good as him, but it's like The Undertaker. I'm not going to die. You can do whatever you want.
Well, everything's been thrown at you, and obviously Riley's held the world championship, though, for 2 years, and you've obviously had your disagreements in that 2-year run, but he's been the champion. And a final countdown, you had an opportunity to win the SBW World Championship, and, well, you did come up short.
Yeah, he got lucky. You know what? He got lucky. If it was one-on-one, I would have had him because if you watch that match, I was on a roll. That whole match, it was all about me. I was practically running through both of them, and then he got lucky at the very end. You had to have seen that.
Yeah, it's funny you said that because I actually have the footage here, and I want to get your perspective on it. And I actually am glad that I think we referred to it in your last appearance on you right around that time. And we see obviously what had happened in the beginning of the match, and we'll get to the finish shortly. But yeah, I mean, listen, you had plenty of offense, you had plenty of opportunities to win that championship, but I guess to make your argument, it was a triple threat match, and you didn't get Riley Bates one-on-one, and maybe that's what you'll say as to why the reason this will be the moment that you swim and win both those championships tomorrow.
Yeah,
I can understand. Go ahead. I'm listening.
It's like that for any match. It could have been a fatal 4-way. It's always different when you're one-on-one, in my opinion, because when you're in a triple threat, you gotta have eyes in the back of your head because you got more than just one competitor. When you're one-on-one, you can solely focus all your offense on that individual and literally just give them as much as you can, and it's easier to focus.
Yeah, that's a fair point, and we are here with Bane X, and Bane X will be in action tomorrow at SBW's latest show, Sink or Swim, and he'll be competing for the SBW World and Union Championships. And if you are out there, please follow and subscribe to SBW on their YouTube channel. I'm going to put that link up shortly, and we'll get to a few people in the chat. And my name is the Reverend Tom Bryce, your voice figuratively and literally, where all music, all sports, and all wrestling matters on here. You know, what makes Riley Bates such a difficult opponent?
Well, obviously his experience. We have this. At one point we had the same experience, but then everybody knows I disappeared for a while, so he clearly has the more experience. So I think that I'll admit it. I hate to admit it. His technical wrestling is one of the best in the backyard, in my opinion. I will give him that.
Yeah,
I hate to admit it. Everyone knows how much we hate each other, but I know game when game recognizes game. You know.
Yeah.
So there's that, and he also knows how to get into people's head, whether it be in the match or in promos prior to the match.
I've seen that here on Sportswire. I've actually seen him say that Riley's a guy that he does it in the ring, and he certainly will have no problem talking outside the ring. That makes him certainly a dangerous competitor, and I agree with you. He's definitely a throwback. He's definitely one of the few throwback guys out there in the backyard in terms of his wrestling technique and style, and that's why he's been able to be the SBW World and also the SBW Union Champion. And you know, and obviously we see it here, but this is what you bring to the table: your size, your agility, your own skill set, which I am sure you're going to rely on tomorrow night.
Yeah, I've put it like this. I would like to compare our wrestling styles, and everyone's going to call me. He likes to call me a mark a lot. I will admit that. He calls me it to my face all the time. They've said it in a promo. Everyone remembers it. It was in the build up to Final Countdown. But I would compare Riley Bates to Dusty Rhodes, honestly. Well,
we heard that here at Sportswire. Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah, and then I would compare myself to, well, obviously Dominic Mysterio. Me and Dominic have the same wrestling style.
You know, I was waiting for it. I was waiting to bring it up. I was waiting, dude.
Yeah, I wear a lot of his merchandise during promos because, like I said,
got the hair look, you got the size. Yeah, definitely, you are SBW's and backyard wrestling's Dom Mysterio. Yes.
I even got the hair. I even got the hairdo. So
well, but you don't. Unfortunately, or maybe I'm missing something. But you don't have quite Rhea, Liv, or anyone else there. But maybe you'll get them. Who knows? Maybe we'll have a backyard version of them. Hopefully soon.
One day. Hopefully one day.
Yeah, no question, no question that you'll be able to do that, and knowing that it's a triple threat match last time, knowing what happened, I'm sure that's going to be in your mind. You know, the other thing that you and I were talking about off the air in the lead up to this is that both you and Riley Bates have never won here at Sink or Swim, but now somebody's going to have that moment to finally win. Now, going into this, you know, you and I were obviously talking about superstition a few minutes ago, but is that something you think about a lot, that you haven't won at Sink or Swim, but yet also Riley hasn't won at Sink or Swim?
Yeah, it's just it's a fortunate way that one of us is finally going to get our first Sink or Swim win, and I'm going to give you a hint. It ain't going to be him. It's going to obviously be me. But it's
yeah. Well, obviously, what else are you going to say on it that you're not going to win? I mean, obviously that's the whole point. But you know, that is
I'm so confident that I would say I'm so confident that I'm going to win that he could bring his best. He can bring a sidekick, and I would still beat him. You know.
Okay. Well, I mean, obviously, you definitely must know something that none of us do here. But I do think that this match has such significance because, again, the history, him being champion for 2 years, and you've obviously disagreed with that because you had also pointed out that he hasn't defended this championship much. And also originally, you wanted this match on a previous episode of Unstoppable, and he said no. He said no.
He proved my point. He is a champion because for the first year and a half, how often did he defend it? He should have relinquished it long ago, and he never did. So we had to create another title just to have a title around because he's all about himself. His ego is one of the biggest, probably the biggest ego in the backyard. And that's what, in my opinion, that's going to be his downfall. His ego will be the downfall.
You know what? I mean, look, I'm going to leave that at that. But I tell you what he's good at, and that's what is what you did point out, which I agree with you on, is in the ring. He is a tremendous in-ring competitor. And this is a guy that's traveled. You've traveled with him before in the past, certainly. And he's been to different places. He's wrestled different guys. And he's definitely earned that right to go out there and compete. He's earned that right to say what he feels. And should he defend or should have defended the title more? I don't know. That's a question really for Bagman and Mr. Bates himself. But at the end of the day, he's the champion, and you've got this opportunity to prove it. You've got it right here. The last match maybe anybody's going to have in all of wrestling in 2025, and you're going to have that opportunity.
That's a lot of pressure on me, honestly. But you know what? Sometimes people thrive under pressure. It just works better and honestly, I'm one of those people. I will thrive under pressure. I perform best when I'm under that pressure.
Yeah, I think sometimes in sports, they say the old adage is you have ice in your veins, and maybe you're that guy. I mean, literally, it's icy outside where all of us are right now. So maybe that's something you've got right in there, and that's going to help. And I think also, before we get to the chat, not having Kurt Adams out there, who was another part of the match that was trying to defeat Riley Bates, that's probably going to help also, not having Kurt Adams out there.
Yeah, Kurt Adams, I don't like the guy, but I respect the guy, just like Riley Bates. And having those two in the ring at the same time, it's one of the most difficult triple threats you will ever have, because you got obviously my speed and agility that makes me stand out, but then you got Riley Bates' technical wrestling, and then promo ability, but then Kurt Adams is kind of a mixture of both of us, so it's hard to keep up with that.
Kurt is kind of Kurt's the buffer. That's a great word to use. He's the buffer between you two, and Kurt is the backbone of the backyard, and Riley and some other individuals in the chat would certainly beg to differ. But I think having not to worry about Kurt is going to maybe help you here in this match coming up. And we're going to get to the finish here shortly. And because I want to get to the chat, and I want to give you an opportunity to say something. Plus, I want to give something to SBW. But you guys are trading punches. I tell you what, you guys, the three of you out there, regardless of if you like each other or not, I'm really excited for this match tomorrow. It's a busy day on Sportswire, and I'm looking forward to making some time and watching your match with Riley Bates, because Riley's been here a bunch of times, and you've been here, and Kurt Adams is a guy we know from another company that you've certainly got some history in dealing with. And look, the match looks to be over, and Kurt's down, but your knee, you had an opportunity, but you let the champion just sit there. He seizes the opportunity, but you're going off and looking at Kurt Adams. Why? Turn around, wait. Riley's going up that top rope. He's going to the hybrid district. Boom! It looks like a reverse RKO, and down goes Bane X. Referee, count 1, 2, 3, and still SBW World and Union Champion. You had an opportunity to win this, but I want to show you that footage here right now and just show you again and what's about to happen. You've got Riley Bates, and he's obviously standing there, and he goes back, and smart move by the champion, the veteran. But this match appears to be over, but you're clutching your knee, and you got Kurt Adams out of the ring. Turn around, face Riley Bates. That's the guy you got to take out, but you turned around and looked at Kurt Adams. Why?
Well, obviously we have a lot of history, and it was also timing. I thought, that's on me. I thought I had a longer amount of time, but I also had to make sure Kurt Adams got the message. I had to say that, pretty much show him that why I'm better than him, and then I should have been focused on the match and then did that afterwards. But you're in the game, adrenaline's going, and then you're not thinking straight,
Well, you know what? You're going to have to think straight. You're going to definitely have to do that here, because you have an opportunity to win that championship tomorrow, and you can't listen. You gotta go on your opponent. You gotta seize the day, seize the opportunity. This is the sink or swim moment. And before we get to the chat, I want to put up that link for everybody that they can go out and support SBW, because SBW is inching ever so closely to 400 subscribers, and I want SBW to get there. So if you have a chance, please support the guys. We're very excited to have had the opportunity to speak with Bane X here, and there's one individual who certainly has got some math for us as to why you're going to not win those Yeah, I think you know who that is. But before we do that, hit the sub button for SBW, please, because it is certainly that time, and we want to certainly give some extra Christmas gifts. And we know Bane X's late Christmas gift would be the SBW World and Union Championship. I had to point that out because Christmas just passed, and that would be a late Christmas gift for you. But let's get to the chat. Also, hello to Zilla. Zilla's here first, and Zilla's here first. Zilla's a fan. We love Zilla. But speaking of somebody that is not a fan of yours, you probably have heard of him, right? He's the psychotic freak, and he wants to say, why is this goof on? Why is this goof on? And obviously, he's also aligned with Mr. Bates in those Reapers, those North Dakota Reapers that he joined. And Psychotic Freak has made such a name for himself. He's become a promo wrestling star, and he's certainly not a fan of yours. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah, I don't understand what his problem was with me. I've never done anything to him, and he just likes to hate on people. And first of all, his freak math, it doesn't make any dang sense. Because when he was in the asylum, he probably got hit one too many times because half the stuff he says doesn't make any sense. Am I wrong?
Well, I actually think he's an outstanding promo wrestling star.
Oh, 100%, but the math I meant, not... He's a great wrestler, but the math when he comes out of his mouth, I'm like, what did you do? Skip the whole high school?
To his advantage. I mean, I don't know the situation fully between him and Bates, but I mean, his freak math, everybody talks about it. But obviously, you're gonna need your own math to make it a 1, 2, 3 to win both championships. But he's got some more comments, so we'll get to them.
Oh my God.
He's got a lot. He's got a lot of them. You got a lot of comments here, so I'm sure that we'll get to them now. Riley Bates is the best alive in the 605, and that would mean that you wouldn't be at the moment the best alive.
You know what? He can comment that all he wants. He can comment all he wants because you know what? We're gonna find out tomorrow who truly is the best alive in the 605.
I agree with you on that. I do agree with you on that, and obviously, wow, Bane X actually had a smart thought. Who would have thought? Well, you've had plenty of smart thoughts tonight. Listen, we are very happy to have you on here.
He's obviously not. Who?
Yeah, we got lost in space there. Technical difficulties.
Yeah, we technical difficulties. I was like, oh, where'd he go?
Yeah, well, I'm here now. Sorry about that. Now, speaking of people that you also may have had some past experiences with, the reigning defending LBYW champion and also a member of those Reapers, the one and only Alpha, man, you've certainly seen in that ring before. Bane X is as much of a loser as the Packers tonight. Broken and hopeless. I mean, the Packers, in Lambeau Field, everybody would have thought the Packers would have.
I don't even know. Are they still playing? Is the game over?
Well, I think they're in the fourth quarter, if I'm not mistaken.
I'll have to check after this game. I know we were down only 3.
Well, last I checked, it was 27-24. So maybe someone here in the chat can give us some comments. But obviously, the Alpha is saying you're going to lose like the Packers, though.
Yeah, you know what? What's he a fan of? Isn't he a fan of the Cowboys?
Well, I mean, they did win when they were eliminated.
Yeah, well, I mean, I get we tied with them, but I don't think they're in the playoffs last I checked. I think they were actually eliminated.
They got eliminated. The Eagles won the NFC East. But
at least we're in the playoffs.
Well, that may be true, but you're not going in there with any momentum. Hopefully, you have more momentum going into tomorrow night. Dusty Rhodes, don't insult Riley Bates like that. Obviously, the Psychotic Freak is definitely.
What's he got against Dusty Rhodes? Dusty Rhodes is one of the best common men to ever do it.
Well, I guess that he feels the way he feels. He is giving us his freak math on Dusty Rhodes, and obviously they're two different wrestlers, I suppose. And speaking of people that are here, and I have his shirt on, Mr. Ox McCoy, the enforcer of Sportswire, wanted to say hello. And Kurt Adams, the backbone of the backyard, is also a bum. So obviously we know the history there in LBYW with the Reapers and Kurt Adams, and you're obviously getting that taken out on you there. And then obviously the Psychotic Freak loved the ending, by the way, of the match we just saw at Final Countdown. And if you are here, hit the sub button for SBW and don't hate on Freak Math. And also, the Psychotic Freak wants to say it makes 359% sense. 359% sense. Get it? We'll get to some more comments. Speaking of Freak Math, I'll be explaining Freakonomics here when I return to TPW, our friends in Texas Pro Wrestling, and maybe Bane will be the first to experience Freakonomics. So am I missing something here or what?
Well,
No comment.
I've never heard of Freakonomics. Everyone's heard of
No
Freak
comment.
Math, but I've never heard of no Freakonomics.
Well, obviously, no comment. I mean, there's no comment there for me. Obviously, we'll leave that at that. But we'll get to some more comments in a minute. But I got to give SBW something before I give you an opportunity, maybe to address Mr. Bates once again. I have something that I like to share my screen for, and hopefully, you'll grant me that opportunity. I promise you, it won't quite be Freak Math. It won't be
Thank
anything
God.
else. Well, he'll be on Sportswire soon enough, and I do for one. I'm looking forward to the Psychotic Freak, but I'm looking forward to sharing my screen because for those that are listening and watching here in prime time on the brightest lights, the biggest stage, the only platform where all music, all sports, and all wrestling matters, SBW is in the Sportswire Radio Hall of Fame. So there you go. Congratulations to SBW. The company goes into the Hall of Fame. Maybe this will give you some motivation. And maybe this will give, maybe at the same time, give Riley Bates more motivation. But congratulations. We wanted to give this to you on behalf of SBW. So I'm sure you can give that to the proper authorities.
I'll have to do that. Give it to GM Paper Bag Man. Give it to somebody that runs this place.
Well, that's the point. That's why we...
Whoever does. I don't know who does. I think it's GM Paper Bag Man, but who knows?
Duly noted. Duly noted. Okay, fair enough. I think I'd asked you the opportunity, what would it mean to you to be a double champion? But I'm going to ask you a few more questions. Is this the biggest match of your career coming up?
Honestly, I think it is. It's probably the biggest match, and it's by far. It's one of the biggest matches I've ever had in my career up to this point, and it's going to really determine the future of SBW for the next season.
That's a good point because there's no question that you need to win this. You need to win this because Riley didn't want to give you that opportunity. He did not want to give you that opportunity, and he didn't feel you were worthy of that opportunity.
I don't think I hate to say it. I don't think it's that. Because everybody in the SBW universe knows that I'm worthy more than anybody. Well, at least more worthy than him. So I'm going to have to say, I think he's scared. He knows that I'm better than him, and he's going to say no because he doesn't want to lose to me and have my point proven of he's the second best alive in the 605, and I'm actually the first.
What? He's the best alive in the 605. He's said that's been who he is, and he's the one with 2 championships. But you mean to say you're the best in the 605, and that's what's going to happen tomorrow when you solidify that? Is that what you're telling us right now?
Tomorrow, I'm going to prove exactly why I deserve to be called the best alive in 605 and why he doesn't deserve that nickname everybody's given him, or he's given himself, whoever gave it to him. I'm going to prove to them that they gave the wrong person the nickname.
Well, I mean, boy, you certainly are coming out swinging. I mean, forget about at the beginning of the show where you talked about, I'm going to watch all of Riley's matches and I'm going to prove to everybody why preparation is going to make perfect tomorrow and what this opportunity means. No, you're coming out swinging here. You've decided that we're less than 24 hours away from the biggest match, one of the biggest matches in backyard wrestling history between you and Riley Bates. And now that's it. You're going to show the world. And you know what? You got his Reaper brothers here right now. You got the Alpha. You got the Psychotic Freak. And what a message you're sending to them right now to tell Riley Bates that you're the man. You're the guy here in the 605. Not Riley and his brothers in the Reapers. They're I am sure, if they haven't yet told him, are going to tell him right now.
You know what? He can bring them if he wants, because first of all, I don't know if anyone knows, but I was technically a part of the Reapers first before him, and I went through a whole gauntlet match and beat them all on my own. So if they try to interfere, I already know I'm better than them, and I for sure know that I'm better than Riley Bates. So yeah, I got this handled. And plus, like I said, I've been watching clips. I know what look he has when he's about to hit his RBT or whatever he calls it. I don't know what he calls it. He has like 10,000 finishers, so who knows?
But you know what? That's why he's on top. But I'm glad that you said the name Riley Bates, because maybe those Reapers, after all, they told him you're here because the best alive in the 605, the one and only Riley Bates is arrived, and he's got this to say. Legends say, first is the worst, second is the best. So if I'm second, that still in caps locks makes me the best wrestler alive in the 605. And after tomorrow night, it's going to be hashtag and still SBW World and Union Champion. Your reaction?
Not much of a reaction because like you said, the comment says first is the worst, second is the best. You know, the last time I said that was first grade. What is he? First grader? A first grader still? Is that where he's mentally at?
Well, you know what? You may say that about what grade he's in, but apparently I've received word that there is somebody here right now that wants to address you after some of the things you've said here tonight. And I'm going to share my screen now, and I'm going to give it to this individual to have the opportunity to say a few words to you, because for those that are listening and watching here in prime time on the brightest lights, the biggest stage, and reigning, defending SBW undisputed champion, the one and only Riley Bates, I'm turning it over to the champ because he wants the opportunity to have his day with you. There you go.
You know what? I was actually watching some movies, not really giving a shit about you, Bane X. And of course, I just so happened to turn on my big old projector screen right up here. And of course, I see that you happen to be there. And I just got the ass end of what the hell you just said. But I tell you what, my comment is true. If you're saying that you're the first best wrestler alive in the 605 and I'm the second, again, legends say first is the worst and second
first
is the
graders
best.
Say that.
So that means I am still the best wrestler alive in the 605. And after tomorrow night, after your ass goes into that water, Bane X, I'm going to be still World and Union Champion.
So this is exactly why you aren't going to win tomorrow. You said you're sitting there watching movies. I've been watching tape preparing. So who knows? Maybe I could come up with a move and you wouldn't see it coming because you haven't been scouting me enough, and I could create a whole new move. I could steal one of your moves, or you could be going for your finisher that you have, one of the 10,000 you have, and I would see it coming from a mile away.
Buddy, listen, I don't need to watch film. I don't need to watch film. I don't need to watch film. I don't need to see anything that you have to say, because quite literally, Reapers say it best. Bane X is nothing more than a 3-letter word, and that is a bum. You're a bum.
You know, Champ, one of the things we were talking about tonight is that both of you haven't won a sink or swim match. And this was where Bane had called you out and said that this is going to be where he wins this match at your expense. And I was wondering what your thoughts are on that, where Bane X had talked about once again here, just on Unstoppable TV, which we saw a couple weeks ago, is that both of you haven't won this match, and this is why he's going to win tomorrow.
You know what? He makes a valid point. Neither one of us have won this match. All right? Who did you face again? Oh, you faced Mike Everlast Bay. That's right. You faced him. You faced a former drunk. I faced a guy who's not even here anymore by the name of Nike, who actually turned out to be Kurt Adams. You know, hate that man. Turned out to be Kurt Adams and stole the world title from me. You, my friend, lost. You lost because you had a drunk throw you off the side of a cliff. I lost because I actually got my ass thrown into a lake by the same guy, if I'm not mistaken, by the same guy who beat you for the YouTube championship and or pin you to become world champion back at Break Loose 2. So if I'm seeing what I'm seeing here is the fact that, yeah, we both lost a sink or swim match, but that means that tomorrow night there's going to be one guy who walks out the winner, and that one guy who walks out the winner is the man who's holding the championships. It's the man who's going to walk into a new year with a new clean slate, but is still going to have a victory over Bane X in the history books.
You know, Champ, one of the other things that Bane X had talked about on here was that he likes the pressure. almost we compared it to he has ice in his veins right now. And this is where he feels like this is gonna where he has the opportunity to rise to the occasion here. But yet you've been the champion for 2 years. Bane X says though he's gonna rise to the pressure here tomorrow and take your championships. What's your thoughts on that?
That's that's not gonna happen. It's honestly not gonna happen. You know what's gonna happen is Bane X. You rise underneath the pressure, buddy.
He said he's gonna feel comfortable under pressure. He's confident.
You're gonna fold underneath the pressure, just like the Green Bay Packers folded trying to get into the playoffs. All right, all their teammates there got injured, buddy. They ain't making the playoffs. All right, but I'll tell you who is. I'll tell you who didn't fold underneath the pressure. All right, when they faced the LA Rams, it's the Seattle Seahawks. They're going into the playoffs. They're going into the playoffs, and just like the Seattle Seahawks are going into the playoffs, Riley Bates is going into sink or swim, and he's going to win by beating your ass, throwing you into that water. And then what's going to happen is I'm going to go into the new year still World and Union champion, while your ass is going to be sitting in the back of the line.
You know what? That's funny you should say that. You want to say the Packers have already made the playoffs. Packers clinched the playoff when the Lions lost to the Vikings. For one time, I'm going to root for the Vikings. And second of all, the last time that we had all these injuries and we lost our quarterback to a concussion was 2010. And you know who won the Super Bowl? Green Bay.
Well, you may want to hope that's going to be the case for you. But Bane X, I give you the opportunity then. Do you want to ask Riley Bates one or two questions before we get ready to close the show out here? Because I know you have something you want to get off your chest, specifically to the one and only Riley Bates.
You know what, Bates? To put it bluntly, you talk a lot, and I'll give it to you. On the mic, one of the best in the backyard. You know what? I'll give it to you. You are the best in the backyard. But when it comes to in-ring, I am levels above you. And you wish you could have everything, the ability, the agility, the speed that I do, because let's be honest, you are nowhere near what I'm going to be when I'm champion. I'm going to defend it like an actual person. I'm not going to hold it for 2 years not defending it just to finally defend it once a month.
Listen, I'm glad you're here, because all this fun and games that we have right here, Bane X, it's not going to happen tomorrow night. All right, you can make the jokes all you want. You can make the jokes all you want. Know what? I'm going to disagree with the North Dakota Reapers on this one, all right? I think it was Psychotic Freak saying that Dusty Rhodes is nowhere near compared to how Riley Bates, and that Riley Bates is better than Dusty Rhodes, all right? Let me tell you something. Dusty Rhodes was 10 times better than Ric Flair ever was back in the 70s and 80s. Dusty Rhodes didn't have the athleticism, didn't have the agility. Dusty Rhodes had a big old pot belly, same as Riley Bates. Riley Bates is a big old Pepsi belly down here, all right? And Riley Bates is going to walk in, sink or swim, better than Bane X ever could. You may have the agility. You may have the speed. You may have whatever it is underneath the fucking mullet you had back there. Maybe you have corn growing back there. But listen, what's going to happen is Riley Bates is going to beat you. Riley Bates is going to beat you just like I pinned you at Final Countdown. Riley Bates is going to do the same thing. He's going to beat you. And when he walks in to sink or swim, I'm going to float like a butterfly and sting like a bee, and I'm going to walk out World and Union champion once more and once again. So hit me with more of your questions, buddy, because I have the best solutions, the best answers, and everything you have to say is unlike Freak Math, because Freak Math is 100% correct, okay? Unlike Freak Math, your ass ain't going to do shit.
Oh, that's a reason why you need to watch the show tomorrow night. You need to be there, and you have to hit the sub button for me for SBW. That way you get all the notifications for all of SBW's content, and there is a lot of content here coming up, and this is the match a lot of people have been waiting for. We first talked about this here on Sportswire a few weeks ago, and it's going to happen less than 24 hours now. We're going to have post-sink or swim coverage, and we'll see, ladies and gentlemen, will Bane X finally have his swim-like moment, or will he sink once again under pressure? Now, we've heard tonight that Bane X says that he has ice in his veins. He's confident. He's going to rise to the occasion. He likes pressure. But say what you want about Riley Bates. He may talk a lot outside the ring, but we showed the footage. He has backed it up time and time again inside that ring, and he's the SPW undisputed champion for a reason. It doesn't matter what his size is. It doesn't matter if he's got a pot belly or not. What matters is at the end of the day, Riley Bates continues to be the one and only SBW undisputed champion, and we're very, very excited about this match. We're very excited about the future of SBW, and this is why you need to go out there and watch the show. I look like you want to say something there, Bane, before we get to closing thoughts. You want to say something there like you want that microphone.
You know what? I have an important question for you, Bates.
No, great. Here we go. Doesn't run his mouth, Bates. Doesn't run his mouth. Doesn't. I'm just sitting being a great guest, and you over here just going to.
No, it's a genuine question. Listen to my question.
Riley has been tamed tonight.
Mm-hmm.
He has. I'll admit that for once. But this is a genuine question. When I beat you tomorrow and you become former undisputed union champion, what do you plan on doing as not holding any belts on your shoulder? What's your plan after I beat you?
That's a great question, but your question's flawed because it's a theory. It's you only have certain evidence to prove your theory, and history books prove that you can't beat me. So it ain't gonna happen. I love the scenario you're putting on me, though. You think that after sink or swim, you're gonna walk out world and union champion. You're gonna walk out double champ. I'm gonna be former. You can put them noodle arms down because you don't have any weight there. You're gonna walk out sink or swim.
I know where you got weight.
What am I gonna do if I don't have those championships? Well, it's pretty simple. I'm still going to be a North Dakota Reaper member, unlike you. I'm still going to have a win over you and Kurt Adams in the same night, in the same event, unlike you. I'm still going to be the guy that draws the views, draws the subscribers, draw everyone here to SPW, unlike you. And I'm still going to be, and still am going to be known as the longest reigning world and union champion, unlike you. And that, my friend, is the fourth wall broken. But you know what? I love what's going on here. So let me ask you a question there, Banex. Let me ask you a question. What is it going to feel like? You have ice in your veins walking in tomorrow night. You're going to walk down that ramp. You're going to enter the ring. And all of a sudden, you hear the little jingling of Riley Bates' theme. What is it going to feel like when after that match, you're all cold because you're in the water. You're all wet because you're in the water. You have a loss to your name against Riley Bates once more and once again. What's it going to feel like when you hit the pillow tomorrow night and you dream about having the world and union championships around your waist and over your shoulders, and then you wake up on the, what is it, the 20th, you wake up on the 29th, that Monday morning, you wake up on the 29th, you get ready for bed, you get ready for work, you're ready for work, and you go on, you look in the mirror, and you don't see the world and union championship anymore. What's that going to feel like? I can't tell you because I haven't been in that position, nor will I ever be. So I'm asking you, you bum, you loser, you low-life piece of shit. I'm asking you, what is it going to be like on the 29th when you wake up with no titles to your name, a loss to Riley Bates, and what you've always been your whole entire career? Instead of Bane X, it should be Bum X, because at the end of the day, your ass is going to be in the back of the line. So let me know, what is it going to feel like on the 29th when you wake up empty-handed? What is it going to feel like? And I see you gritting your teeth because you know the same answer that I know. And that same answer is that it's going to happen. Riley Bates is going to walk out still world and union champion because there's nothing you could do about it. You're facing a North Dakota Reaper member. You're facing the longest reigning world and union champion. You're facing the guy that retired CFR. All right? You're facing the guy who traveled to many of these different places, faced many of these different names in the yard. And you're looking at the guy that after tomorrow night is still going to be on top in this company. Be at the spot that you can't reach anymore. So I'm asking you, I'm pleading with you, I'm begging with you. Metaphorically, I am on my hands and knees begging you, Bane. When that bell sounds, what is it going to be like to be a loser?
Whoa, ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, those are words.
I'm waiting for an answer.
Those are some strong
I'm waiting
words.
for an answer.
In this theoretical world of yours, this nightmare of a world that nobody wants to see. Nobody wants to see it except for you. Let's say I do lose. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to climb my way back to the top. I'm going to go, because everybody knows that eventually we will have a gauntlet match to determine Wrestle the Fame main event. So if I have to, I'll wait. I'll bide my time until that pay-per-view, and I will win the gauntlet match and come right back for you, and I will beat you at the biggest event if I have to in this theoretical world. But the thing is I don't got to wait that long, because after tomorrow, you're going to be looking at the new undisputed SBW world champion. Now get off this live stream.
No, ladies and gentlemen, this short switch to the point. Ladies and gentlemen, he just said get off, and maybe that's a cue, because the talking is over. The talking is over. Tomorrow night, sink or swim. But you know what? Will it be that moment for Bane X? Will it be his moment where he finally swims his way to the SBW World and Union Championships that Riley Bates has held? And Riley Bates, ladies and gentlemen, has held that World Championship for 2 years. Remember, Riley Bates originally said no to Bane X. He said no because of what he said yesterday. He is going to put this man 6 feet under. We'll have to find out. See, good.
I'll say this and I'll get off. And I'm glad you referenced that, Tom. I'm glad you referenced that. Because tomorrow night, after all is said and done right here, right now, for the last 7 years, going to be going on 8, almost a decade, you've been a thorn in my side. And I'm finally, I'm going to be a broken record and repeat what I said on Unstoppable. I'm going to finally bury your ass 6 feet under after tomorrow night. So I am going to leave right here, right now. But just know that when that bell sounds, you're going to fucking die, guy.
And he just left. Bane X. He just left and he said, you're going to die. I mean, obviously, I only hope for the best. We certainly want to talk with you regardless after this match. And obviously, we want to thank you for your time and anything else you may want to say after that, because what a memorable back and forth that was. And it's another reason why we certainly want to tune into this match. But I certainly hope, Bane X, that this is what you wanted. And hopefully, this will be that late Christmas gift that you've wanted. And anything else you'd like to say?
You know what? Christmas just happened, and everybody knows the Santa Claus. Everybody knows that he's this holly jolly guy, but you know what? Everybody knows there's always an opposite of somebody, and I'm going to be Bates's Krampus.
Whoa! Well, you know what? Obviously, you're going to give Riley Bates some late lump of coal. You're going to give Riley Bates, well, taking away, you might even want to say, a Christmas gift he's had all to himself these last 2 years. Ladies and gentlemen, that's a reason why you want to go out there and watch the show. You can do that on the SBW YouTube channel. You can stay here on Sportswire Radio for post-SBW Sink or Swim coverage. Follow SBW on Instagram. And my friend, obviously, I'm really hoping that you'll have the luck of Dirty Dom. And we know what Dirty Dom has done, beating John Cena in his second-to-last match, beating his daddy as many times as he has, and the Intercontinental Championship, the Tag Team Championships. I hope that
AAA Mega.
AAA Mega too, and obviously I hope that you'll have the same luck as Dirty Dom, and maybe you'll come back on here next time with Riley Bates Championships. We'll certainly have to stay tuned, and obviously a late belated Merry Christmas and Happy New Year, and hopefully you get the Christmas gift that you wanted 3 days later. Who knows, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna go into the new year world champion, union champion, and I'm gonna be like he said. He already said it, but the difference is I'll be champion when I beat him, and I'm going to the world fresh. And SPW's landscape is going to completely change when we have a new champion.
I, for one, am looking forward to seeing, regardless of what happens after tomorrow night. I'm looking forward to having you back on here. It was certainly a memorable exchange with the one and only Riley Bates, and good luck out there. I hope that some of the things you said here will help you and lead you to what you want. But Riley Bates is going to be one tough customer, and he showed that here. And yes, before we go, yes.
You know what? Before we go, I got one more thing to say about Bates.
Go ahead.
You've noticed I've been drinking Mellow Yellow some of of the time. Greatest drink ever. You know what? You can keep your Mountain Dew, but
thank you.
Mountain Dew's good. I'll give it. It's my alternative when I don't got Mellow Yellow. But the fact is, he can take his. Everyone knows he's the Pepsi drinking guy, right? He can take his Pepsi and shove it straight up his ass.
Whoa! Ladies and gentlemen, Riley Bates may be the one and only Pepsi drinker, but the only place he's going to be drinking that Pepsi is where the sun doesn't shine, and the sun won't be shining tomorrow in SPW, because it's going to be a sink or swim moment. And let's just say Riley Bates is going to be sinking full of Pepsi if Bane X has his way, ladies and gentlemen. It will be the moment that Bane X has been waiting for, where he'll swim ashore with the SPW World and Union Championships. To quote Q-Tip, will Bane X have the world as his? You'll have to find out, because Bane X has been waiting for that Christmas gift 3 days later. Everybody else, Santa Claus may have come from everybody and into their stocking stuffers and stocked their favorite gift, but it looks like Bane X wants the gift he's been waiting for over a year. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Bane X. You have to follow SBW on Instagram, YouTube. My friend, thank you so much for this opportunity, and I can't wait to see you on here after Sink or Swim, and hopefully you'll have swam ashore with those SBW championships, and we can talk about a dramatically changed SBW landscape. We'll certainly have to see.
We will, but with that, I ain't got nothing else to say.
There ain't nothing else left.
I'm all about action tomorrow.
There's nothing else left to say, because the only thing left is to watch tomorrow night the SBW World and Union Championships between our guest Bane X and the man that was here. He's the best alive in the 605, though Bane X says he'll disagree with that, because tomorrow he'll be the best alive in the 605. We were talking about the one and only Riley Bates, the World and Union Champions of SBW. Please support SBW on all social media platforms. My name is the Reverend Tom Bryce, your voice figuratively and literally with all music, all sports, and all wrestling matters. I'll be here 5 o'clock tomorrow with Courtney Wood, Miss Courtney Wood. You've seen her in other places, and you'll get a chance to see her here tomorrow night. We're going to talk a lot about the WVWF. Speaking of landscapes that have changed dramatically, we'll talk about that. But until then, good luck, my friend. Happy New Year, and happy belated Merry Christmas. And we'll see if you get the biggest Christmas gift you've been waiting for your entire life. And thank you so much, and we'll be watching tomorrow.
Thank you.
You got it. That is the one and only Bane X. My name is the Reverend Tom Bryce, and get it, the one and only Bane X. Get it? And my name is the Reverend Tom Bryce, your voice figuratively and literally all music, all sports, and all wrestling matters. If you're here on Sportswire Radio, please follow SBW. They're doing a great job out there. We want to help them get to 400 subs and beyond. Like, share, and subscribe to us. And please follow SBW on Instagram. But until then, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are, on the number one global radio station. That is Sportswire Radio, where all music, all sports, and all wrestling matters. See you tomorrow at 5 with Courtney Wood. Be watching with SBW. Watch these guys. They're going to have a great match. Bane and Riley, very excited about it. Please support them. We'll talk about it afterwards, and have a great night.